You're listening to the Starfall Actual Play Podcast. Starfall Actual Play Podcast is a combination of short stories, audio dramas, and actual role-playing that tell a much larger story. Hey, this is Kevin C. Mason, creator of Starfall, Game Master, and the guy who keeps everything running. If you are listening to this for the first time, stop right now. Go to episode 1, like 2 seasons ago almost. Wow. You'll thank me. It's much better. With that said, in this episode, we get to learn. I can't talk today. Learn a little bit more about Warmedian politics, and we get ready to get closer to the end of season 2. Which, by the way, folks, I apologize. The next one's going to take a little bit longer because we have to re-record. Let's just say there's more than... Yeah, there's some death going on there. A player character died, and, well, so did the file. And we have to re-record it. So we're going to do it in a monologue, I think. We'll figure something. I blame Turbo. No, here he comes. Hi, Turbo. How are you? Yes, you want to tell everyone about your new job. Yes, everyone, Turbo has a new job. Yes, he's very, very proud of it. Turbo, tell everyone what your new job is. Okay, I'll translate. Okay, he says he is the error message on a website that he broke. Are you sure you should be proud of that? Okay, so actualplaypodcast.com, which is this new directory for podcasts. So if you've got a podcast and you're not listed, you should get listed. Apparently, when things break, he's the one responsible. Why are you proud of this? Well, I know you break things, but do you have to break my stuff? Okay, actualplaypodcast.com, that's, that's my new website. It is a great resource if you're looking for new podcasts, or if you're looking to promote your podcast. It's a good place to go there. Okay. Turbo, really? You should not be proud of this. It took me hours to fix what you broke. Okay, it's working again. Just go visit the website. actualplaypodcast.com.
This episode contains strong language like scrub, skridonk, and now and then Terry talks about work. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, by the way, all of your comms not working on this planet at all.
No, you're telling us now.
You may be able to communicate with each other, but you have no internet access. And while you are in the mine, you can only communicate with each other who is else in the mine. You can't communicate out.
You guys can communicate with me though.
Yes.
Physics. She's a cruel mistress.
Yeah, that's true. You can communicate with Atrium.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Line of sight?
It is line of sight to create the connection. You can attempt to create a connection, but the target numbers are a bitch.
Please don't connect with me when you're drunk. Because then I'm hearing all that babble in my brain.
Okay.
I can't get to my weasel.
So
She meant that literally.
So they decided that they're gonna. Your sister wakes up. It's just like, oh, okay, time to see the Chieftain.
Sorry, we never learned her name, did we? Do two ICs have a title?
She doesn't have a name, and
She's
apparently
just a
I
cider.
sleep
She
very
just
close
knows
to
the
Jack's
Hunter.
sister.
Hunter.
Yeah, no, you both wake up nearby.
Cool. Okay.
Hunter Hammerhand. She has a way better name than you do.
David. Terry.
So Hunter,
Terrence.
she
His mother must have named him.
she takes you over to the general throne room, and you can see that the Chieftain is just now waking up from his hangover. And
No, I'm very sad that he wasn't one of the two beside me.
yeah,
Standard.
he's.
Mom
This
was having a
room
full
is surprisingly warm. This is the amount of heat that's in this room where he is is a sign of wealth. You almost immediately want to take off your jackets. The act of doing so, David stops you. You will sweat while in this room.
There's such a big jacket. It doesn't even fit me. It's huge.
Pretty much, unless if you walk in
I just grabbed it from
without the jacket, that's fine. But removing it while in this room you're supposed to endure it. Unless there's a good reason for the chieftain to want you to disrobe, but
I'm really sexy, so that's what my sheet says.
really sexy say.
I'm always wearing a
You
I've
jacket.
got my husky sex voice and everything.
Speaking of jackets.
the chieftain looks at you and says, "Hammerhand, David,
You're in trouble.
what brings you back? I thought you escaped this hellhole."
I thought you'd manage not to fuck it all up.
Anyone else would be in the soup by now.
Why do you think I said what I said?
Look, I know we're best friends and all, but that doesn't mean I won't kill you. Out of show of force.
Look, are you really going to kill the person who can pull us out of this shit?
And what do you have to offer?
Well, I hear you have a plan that works. I can help out with that, or there's other ways.
So the plan is that we've discovered some ore just underneath the lake bed. We think that it had to do with the meteorite that landed some couple thousand years ago that everyone was mining. Everyone was looking underground. No one looked at the bottom of the lake. We think we can mine that. And there might be enough to put us on the map. If that happens, we can actually get a shipping lane here. Maybe even have the Confederation or the Church take a look. Well, maybe not the Church, but maybe the Confederation might even consider us for membership. Assuming I can figure out how to make it so the rest of the planet can fucking vote.
I'm taking it nobody else knows about this.
Do you think I would tell anyone? Problem is, we can't get any equipment to it because the water layer near the ore is all actual water. It's not ice. Equipment's too heavy and sinks to the bottom.
Now, maybe there's something I'm not thinking about here, but why the scrap aren't you digging sideways?
Because if we go too far, we'll flood all our lower levels. And then there will go all our mushrooms. Yo, that's what they eat.
Oh.
That's what that's the primary form of sustenance.
That's why
It's
you're
mushrooms.
big and strong. These really tough people have
Wobbly.
No, far from it. They eat a lot of chow.
Okay.
And people.
Cool. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, people
Animals,
jump.
yeah.
Yeah, it's people. People is Well, how have we attacked the problem so far?
Well, we've tried building a tube to go to and do the mining. We've tried aerating the water so it will cool off, hopefully freeze. We have even tried going and tunneling from underneath, but
Can I just pop in here for a sec? Y'all kind of narrow focused, right? Because you're on a frozen planet.
As you look up to the hill, you see a tree. Its gnarled, twisted branches in an array of green buds all the way up through fall colors and then the dead of winter at the top.
Okay, so how are we supposed to deal with this thing again?
You'll come up with something.
Right.
Hey, I'm Daniel, the Dungeon Master. Join the Cats and Crowbars crew as they venture around the world of my creation, in the continent of Ysera, where the party needs to find their footing to see what fate has drawn them together.
Meet our lovely cast of misfits. Lesnalor, Volgar, Ophlia, Squeege, Cosmic, and Abram, every other week at our Actual Play D&D 5e podcast.
We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Monday night at game night for whatever it is we did wrong. But we think you're crazy for making us record a podcast for telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is
A fighter.
A basket case.
a princess.
A soldier.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, Resting Glitch Face. You're listening to Starfall podcast, by the way, if you didn't already know that, but you probably did because you clicked on the button.
Don't take this as an offense, but there are lots of planets that mine crap from liquid water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's these things called submarines. Hell, our shuttle could get through water.
And you have the only ship on the planet that can survive space, not alone water. We don't have the resources.
So what you're saying is our ship's a very useful resource for you right now.
She says, yes.
Oh, show me the money.
No. All of a sudden, Mama just realized we can't communicate with our ship.
My girlfriend.
Wait. We could send her to the surface with an open comm channel and get her to communicate with the ship.
She doesn't need a comm channel. That's the point. She's a Gadar. She's telepathic.
Yeah, okay.
We just need to talk to her. She can talk to the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots
So,
of ways
do we
can
have a
mine it
shuttle
with
or
some
two on the
technology.
ship?
Is that?
Do we have one or two shuttles on the
You
ship?
have 2 shuttles.
And do these shuttles have submarine capabilities?
No.
No.
They're
Just
designed
the
for
ship.
zero pressure, not high pressure.
It's the pressure issue.
They would still survive. I mean, it would still survive. They just don't have the engines. Are designed for 0G. They're designed for no pressure.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, no atmosphere.
Or
High
atmosphere,
pressure.
right?
Yeah.
What's the chief's name?
Like
Is
one
that-
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Maxwell, what's the time limit?
I don't have one.
So, if we
can get you the
if we
equipment
came
need.
back with submariner mining equipment, yeah,
That would work. There is one other thing that we're trying right now. We were able to find some pre-fall equipment.
the Gadar has a panic attack.
Gadar, emotionless. And we're hoping that we can get it to work. The scientist that we have conscripted says that it might be able to freeze the lake.
Question. How deep is the lake?
And why is it not already frozen?
No, it is, but
The
there's
top
a-
is frozen.
the top is
So there's a
from there's a
molten
molten core.
So how deep is the lake?
Yeah. that's
Pretty
what I'm
deep.
asking.
It's really, really deep.
So
Well, high
volume
pressure.
is great. Freezing it would be difficult. Diverting it.
I think the best.
like drying out the lake.
If it's that
moving the
deep and
water
large,
elsewhere.
then that's probably not an option.
I think the best
Yeah,
answer really
freezing
is
it's quite hard
getting submariner equipment, right? Something that can work through water, something that can
Probably has that,
work through water with the
yeah.
pressure.
This would be
Yeah.
a problem.
Are we worried about the ship?
Not particularly. It's going to be grabbing it.
Yeah, but
No, I am. It's like,
Can we
yeah.
Your
send
infatuation
But I-
is
but-
intense.
but I'm Mama. I worry.
I don't want to be
everything.
stuck on this scrubbing island
Okay.
planet. Same shit.
Can our ship handle it?
What, the fifth crew?
Our ship could barely land.
Yeah. Yeah, it took some effort to land. And then, even then, you'd be able to go next to it, but you wouldn't be able to do anything about the war. It's because that's part of the problem is that even if you can get something to go next to it,
You need to transport
They
your
wanna
ore.
you need to be able to mine it and move it.
Currently
The
still
biologist
in
divert the lake. Because if you freeze it, like, what's the point? You still have the same problem.
I'm 60 years old.
You
Don't they need the
divert
water
the
from the lake,
resources.
What's
Yeah, you're
that?
diverting the lake. You never waste water in a mining operation. You use the water, but you just don't want it on top of the pit.
Yeah, but is it gonna go? Where is the water going? Is it gonna go out onto the surface of the planet and just make more lakes, or is it?
Where
Are they
planet-
using the water?
Well, if you
No.
pump the water to the surface, it'll freeze.
The place is
Yeah.
covered in frozen water.
Or we
a lot of water
are a
around.
planet full of caves. You can create another cavern.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
Could
was
we
the
potentially
cave lake.
flood the Mole Clan's cave with this water?
Ooh.
Undermine their operations in the area.
No! You tunneled deep for that.
We're insane!
I think that one must be blind.
Oh no, blind, no.
Yeah, I reckon we could flood the mole. We could divert it to the Mole Clan.
Oh, if only we had somebody who had a map of all the caves who could tell us if that was a possibility.
Is it a
It's around here
possibility?
somewhere.
Rummages within robe.
You want it?
Or a fractal.
You want to get
That
revenge
could
on
tell
them?
us this shit.
that?
You want to get revenge on the Mole Clan?
What we can
Let's
do
fucking flood him out.
Flood
is
him
if the
out.
Mole Clan is at a lower elevation than the lake's water table, then if we
Even
can
if
get
it's
equipment to drill, you can drill a hole in and whoop, it'll just
Drain the lake into the mole.
Maxwell is listening to what you're saying and goes, or we can make the Mole Clan do all the work and flood themselves.
how would we incentivize them to do that?
We need to set up a con.
We just need
How
some
stupid
bait.
are they? Yeah. Julia.
What about the crab?
They took over the spaceport without knowing they could hold it.
Mm.
We just park our ship in the right spot.
They are an ambitious bunch.
We either incentivize them or we threaten them.
They're
Because
ambitious,
they couldn't
but they're
hold
not
the
long-sighted.
spaceport because they lost the battle, so then they ran out of manpower.
The way I see it, it's a
Well,
win-win for the Thunder Clan.
Do we need bait? Are they just really dumb? We could just like let out some information and they
Worst,
take the bait.
worst case, they take the ship and we can't take it back.
And then we're stuck here.
And then
We ain't using
And
the shit for
then-
shit.
we take over the Mole Clan's caves, which is a great prize for the Thunder Clan.
What if they're all
So-
flooded out?
Let's do this. There's a, and you see a little a runner show up. Send a message to the Mole Clan. Let them know that we want to meet, and we're going to meet on the open field. Call it a moot. And it scampers off. So Mole Clan will meet us. Well, we'll find out if they'll meet us. They'll meet us out on the open plain. We'll meet them there. There's something of value underneath where we're going. We don't have to tell them that there's a.
They wouldn't already know that? Like, I know clans are private, but it's a pretty big lake. Wouldn't they have some rough idea of the jurisdiction of other clans?
Well,
and
it's
major water
also
bodies?
it's also under snow and ice, down to the depth where it
Permafrost.
will not freeze at minus 30 degrees Celsius. Like
I don't know.
eventually, there's got to be a solid thickness of ice
Yeah, permafrost.
before there would be water.
Yeah.
There can't be that much heat coming off the core.
Okay. Would it be useful? Can I have a look at this pre-fall equipment? How carefully guarded is it by the chief, and can Dave convince the chief that might be a good idea to have the guitar.
Well,
have a look at it.
we currently have it out on the plains, because the plains is right over where the equipment, where the ore is. You can come take a look at it if you want.
Excellent.
So,
Because if only we had a historian who was well versed in ancient technologies.
Someone good at
Now, when you
some
say
sort of
planes, you
repair.
mean AI or NES? Is it planes or planes?
AI, planes.
Plains.
Rain in Spain, planes.
Fell from the plane. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yes.
So who else is going with her?
I'll go in the mech.
Okay, anyone else?
I'll be your bodyguard.
Yeah. I'll go with Mama.
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah. Mech the bodyguard.
Should we maybe just
Make a group out of it?
Tell me this isn't giving the Thunder Clan hella cred. The fact that there is a mech walking around with the thunder.
Yes. It's actually kind of scary for a lot of people.
I'm not going to stand in the middle of an open plain with no cover when I'm telling my enemies where I'm going to be.
I have a cart.
Just get in the cart.
I can hide us. Or you.
Yeah, you
I
can.
think I can.
Yeah.
I've got
If the entire party can be hidden on the way to the meeting spot.
Yeah, as long as they don't bring equipment to look at us with. 'Cause
Are
they
we
can't
looking
hide
at
us from the
this-
fences. I can just hide us from the naked
Yes,
eye.
but the mole clan's not going to use.
Yeah.
Basically, she can send out a telepathic thing that says you don't.
You've been listening to the Starfall Actual Play Podcast, written and directed by Kevin C. Mason. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you can find a podcast. Become a Patreon backer by going to patreon.com/StarfallPodcast. Get a copy of Roll vs. Roll at Gamescrafter or Drive-Thru RPG.